It's Sunday, October 9th, 2022. So I'm on my way to the gym right now, and I wanted to stop by and just show you the local Carmax lot, absolutely flooded with cars this morning. But before we do that, I wanted to show you something. I was at the grocery store yesterday, and you talk about shrinkflation. Take a look at this. This thing is not even the size of my finger. 50 cents for this. So now they're selling these little Snicker bars at the grocery store for 50 cents. I mean, this thing is so tiny, so people can't afford the $1.50 or $2 for a full-size candy bar, so now they'll just sell you a portion of it for 50 cents. Anybody that says that there is no shrinkflation out there, that you're not paying more and getting less, is lying to your face. Look at this. Look how little this thing is. Just look at that compared to my hand. So tiny. This is what people are having to settle for now because it's getting too expensive to even enjoy a candy bar. A candy bar now at this point is becoming a luxury in America. But enough of that. Let's walk down over here towards the Carmax lot. Drove by this yesterday and I was stunned with the inventory of autos here at Carmax. But we are going to continue to see inventory of everything pile up at Walmart, at Kohl's, at the Targets. Everything, everywhere now is piling up. New cars, used cars, and they're going to continue to pile up. And there was an article that came out on Friday on CNBC. New cars are finally back in stock, but Americans might not be able to afford them. What a surprise. When you have real inflation at 17 to 20%, gasoline, I just paid $7.19 the other day for a gallon of super unleaded out here. Who's going to be able to buy a car? And the rate now to borrow money in order to finance a car has gone up over a full percentage point from last year. Used car prices, this is on the Hedge, also on Friday. Used car prices record first annual drop in 2 years. Luxury car prices take beating. And you know, it's easy to read the articles, it's easy to watch the news, but when you actually come out here and you take a look, I mean, they're parking cars in front of cars. You got Challengers and Chargers, Camaros, Corvettes, Mustangs. There's two people. This is Sunday, and yes, they are open. Dealerships are open on Sunday here, at least in California. There's two people, a couple walking the lot here, and it's actually a pretty comfortable Sunday. We're only in the low 90s right now. There's two people here, and there are hundreds of cars on the lot. Manheim used vehicle prices fell 3% in September versus the prior month. The index declined 1% from a year ago, sitting at 204.5. Prices are still elevated, but about 13.5% from the all-time high of 236 in January. Prices are going to continue to move lower in the coming months, ladies and gentlemen. This economy is going to guarantee that. Inflation will guarantee that. The cost to borrow money will guarantee that. Look at this. You got Mercedes, Audis, Camrys, Beamers. Nice selection of cars. A lot of Hondas. Very, very nice selection of used cars, but a couple Range Rovers over there. But the lot is dead, empty, in the used car market here, on the used car lot. Imagine what the new car lots look like. As they are getting some cars, now as the cars come, everybody's broke or cannot afford to borrow money at these higher rates. So I just wanted to, on my way to the gym, come by and show this to you. And I want to discuss a few other things with you too. Markets are expecting the Fed to save them. And it's not going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. This is another dangerous hope that is being sold to the markets, to the retail investors, that the Fed is going to come in and save the day yet again. I think it's going to be much different this time. And if you're expecting the Fed to come and save you and save these markets, be very cautious, be careful. I think a lot of people that believe that are going to get punished in these markets. and they're getting punished right now, and they still believe that it's all going to turn around. There's going to be some miracle turning this all around. Take a look at the inventory here. We got Porsches here, another Mercedes, more Mercedes, Lexus. Really nice selection of cars here. We've got a lot of them. A lot of cars. We have to understand one thing. Stock markets are a trailing indicator of economic health, not a leading indicator. Collapsing stocks are not the cause of an economic crisis. They are just a delayed symptom of a crisis that was always there. And this crisis has been here for many, many years. And I think many of us would agree that this crisis started in 2008. You could argue even before then. Started in 2008, never got fixed. They just kicked the can down the road, printed a lot of money, and hoped it would all go away, or at least put it off. And now they've created a monster here. And when you have over a decade of 0% interest rates and you have pumped trillions of dollars into these markets, into the economy with stimulus, you had a Fed buying up massive amounts of mortgage-backed securities, propping up a housing market into the biggest bubble we've ever seen. You have caused serious, serious trouble here now, and the Fed has no choice now but to collapse it all. Stimulus will be removed, rates will be hiked, the balance sheet will be reduced. The easy money, ladies and gentlemen, is over, and now you're seeing the effects of the easy money being removed. When you have, now I see nobody on the car lot, 0 people walking the car lot on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. So these are the effects. Now we're going to see massive amounts of inventory in housing, in cars, in land, in commercial real estate. I'll tell you what we're not seeing a massive amount of inventory in right now, and that's physical gold and physical silver. Because when people begin to get worried, they begin to run to things that are real. They get back to simplicity. People don't want to buy paper. They don't want to buy debt. They don't want to buy promises. They now want something real. And if you don't have real assets right now, if you're hoping that everything's going to be okay, hope is going to be a terrible strategy. Hope is going to guarantee that you lose. I think one of the most shocking indicators out there is the use of credit cards, credit card use. U.S. consumers are going to become desperate for liquidity, and they're going to max out their credit cards to do it, and without expecting to repay them. And they're going to do this in order to pay for goods and services. And they're going to do it and purchase these goods and services at record prices. In September, consumer credit rose $32.2 billion. Credit card debt rose $17.2 billion. And student loan and auto debt rose a little over $15 billion in the month of September. This is scary stuff, ladies and gentlemen. It really, really is. And I know there are people out there that can still laugh and giggle. Most of those people have now disappeared. They're not laughing anymore because now they are one of these people. They are one of the statistics. And you know, the people that used to laugh and joke, well, they're gone now. Some of them are probably even homeless at this point. This is no joke, ladies and gentlemen, and this is why when I make these videos, I don't laugh, I don't joke around. So, you know, this is 15, 20 minutes, 25 minutes of a very, very serious issue, topic, time in this country that I just don't find funny at all. I really, really don't. Markets are expecting, you know, the Fed to come in, save everything, and people, you know, they listen to this and they get data from the television, and they are gambling in these markets. They're making investments based on the data that they're getting. They're believing the unemployment numbers. They believed everything was transitory. They believed everything was recovering. They believed everything was going to be okay. They believed gas prices were going to go down and stay down. All of this just lies. And people are making life-altering decisions based on the data that they're getting on the television, based on the people who suckered them into these markets and are continuing to sucker them into these markets. The same people telling them it's a great time to buy a house and whatnot. Be very, very careful, ladies and gentlemen. This is just such a dangerous time financially, We know that this is going to spill over to more problems socially, and people, they have no idea. There's still people out there that are comatose, have no idea what's going on. Just, you know, last night when we were out looking at people driving around down I-10, you would never think that gas out here is over $6 a gallon. I paid $7.19 for super. You would never guess that. But just think, if people did not have a stack of credit cards, I can't tell you how many times I've been in line where people pulled out a card and it didn't work, and they had to pull out another one and another one. They literally have a stack, you know, a half inch of cards in their wallet, and they just go to the next one. And they're paying for everything on a credit card. And it's going to get bad. It's really going to get bad, ladies and gentlemen. It's bad right now. And they don't want you to realize that, how bad it is right now, and why you need to be preparing right now. They don't want you prepared. They want you to keep spending. They want you to be a debt slave. You're very easily controlled when you depend on the system. And if you're dependent on the system to save you, you're going to be in very, very, very big trouble. I read a comment today and somebody said, wow, you're really negative. This is very doom and gloom. And to that person, to any people that think like that, I could care less really what you think. I'm a realist. I'm extremely concerned about what is happening in this country. I'm extremely concerned with what's going to happen to my fellow Americans, the future of this country. And if this is too negative for you, if reality is too negative for you, you need to go to another channel, and maybe one based on toys or comic books or video games. Maybe this just isn't for you. This is real life. And, you know, I got out of the Matrix a very, very long time ago, and I can see very, very clearly now what is coming. You know, these people are still not admitting that we're even in a recession. This is how much they're lying to you when they can't even admit that they're in a recession. And by the time that they do, we'll be in a depression. Here's one from The Hedge. Your next pain will be soaring electricity costs as energy crisis comes to America. Well, it's already begun. Natural gas generators power a large percentage of our grid. Prices of natural gas are trading at about 94% higher than at the start of the year. And get this, 370% higher than the 2020 lows. Gasoline prices are going to go much higher. I think we were up about $4 on Friday on a barrel. OPEC now cutting 2 million barrels a day. We are burning through our strategic reserves. So what do you think that that's going to do to the price of oil here in America? So get ready for that. Trucking jobs evaporate as shortage worsens. This on Fox Business. A loss of 11,000 jobs from August to September. Small fleets are folding across the country. In September, we were being told that there was a shortage of 80,000 jobs, and now we're getting the news between August and September we lost 11,000 trucking jobs. So which one is it? I would think that we're going to see a lot of the small trucking companies absolutely decimated because of fuel costs, and now we have less ships arriving with less goods coming to America. People are buying less. The warehouses are stocked with inventory. So what happens to trucking? It's going to slow down. So this one-time business where they were paying some drivers a lot of money, and they were doing sign-on bonuses. And let me tell you, it's a rough business. These guys work many, many hours, and when you're not turning, when those wheels aren't turning, when you're sitting, when you don't have a load, you're not getting paid. So a lot of the complaints where these guys are, working 40 hours driving, but then they're sitting 30 waiting for the truck to be unloaded, or waiting to get the truck unloaded and waiting while it's being unloaded another 30 or 40 hours. So now they're invested 70, 80 hours getting paid for 40. It's a rough business. So I think that now that things are slowing down, inventories are so high, you're going to see a lot of truck drivers leave this business, and a lot of these small trucking companies disappear. A quarter of San Francisco's office space is empty. So something that we've been talking about for 2 years, commercial real estate. We see Amazon shutting down or stopping the build on warehouses. millions of square footage. San Francisco, a quarter of office space empty. Office space all over Southern California here, empty, 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 and all over the country. So if these office buildings are not generating income, well, who's paying for that? The bondholders, they're going to get absolutely decimated here. The banks holding the note on these buildings, this is big trouble. Think about the banks that made huge loans on these cars during the health crisis. Loan to value on some of these cars, 140%. 15,000 repos a day. They are going to get themselves into big, big trouble here. And then on top of that, all of these vacancies, vacant retailers, vacant office buildings, vacant warehouses. These banks are sitting on a lot of vacancy and a lot of car repossessions. It's going to be I think we're going to see serious trouble in the banking industry here. They can tell you that it's safe. They can tell you how great it is. People can tell you to keep your money in the bank and, you know, keep a couple $100, you know, under your mattress in case the lights go out. No, opposite, ladies and gentlemen. Get the majority of your money out of the banks and get it somewhere safe. It is safer buried in your backyard than it is sitting in a bank today. Here's another one from the hedge. Change is afoot. Home buyers shocked by rates. Sellers lament price plunges. Sellers, at this point now, are coming to terms with a new reality. And that reality is prices are coming down and there are less and less qualified buyers out there who can qualify to get a mortgage at 7% now. Buyers are going to sit on the sidelines, the smart ones will, and there's people that are very emotional, gotta have it today, and they're gonna buy in this overvalued market and they're going to regret it, but they will do what they do. But the smart money, the smart buyers are going to sit now because they realize that the tide is shifting. Something is going to give in the housing market, ladies and gentlemen, and that something will be the sellers without a doubt. If you do not have to buy something, if you do not have to move tomorrow, if you can wait 6 to 12 months, I think you're going to be very, very glad that you did. And I want to close with this last article. This also on, I believe it's Fox Business. Adderall shortages impacting ADHD patients. There is record demand for Adderall. There is a labor shortage. There's a shipping crisis. It's putting pressure on these pharmaceutical deliveries. And there are people that I'm sure really do need Adderall. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that probably really don't. But I bring this last article up because of this. We have a society here in America that is severely addicted to pharmaceuticals and illegal substances. I've said this 100 times in the past. I'm going to repeat it today. We are heading into a very serious time in our history. We're heading into the greatest depression we have ever seen, the Great Depression 2.0. You do not want to be taking an addiction into this. If you can get off the pharmaceuticals, if you can get off the illegal substances, I pray to God that you do it immediately. So many people just dependent on these drugs, on these pharmaceuticals to fix their problems. Some people just don't even want to be a little uncomfortable in life. They'd rather just take a pill or a shot so they could just be a little bit less comfortable. And they become addicted and dependent on these drugs. This is the time, ladies and gentlemen, to shake the demons right now. Get this demon off your back. And look, I know there's people that have to have these things, that their life depends on it, their well-being, their quality of life. I get it. I understand that. But there are people out there that know that if they ate a little healthier, if they got a little bit more exercise, if they mentally got a little stronger, they wouldn't need any of this. They would not need any of this. Many of you have written to me, you've written in the comments that you've gotten off these things. You've gotten in better physical shape. You've gotten in better mental shape, spiritual shape. You've got your body in better shape, everything. And it's made a huge difference to the point where you don't take any pharmaceuticals today. And again, I understand that there are people that definitely have a need in order to survive that need this stuff. I get it. But there are people out there, and they know who they are, that if they made an effort, They would not have to take a pill. They would not have to take a shot. But it's easier to do that than it is to lose 50 or 80 or 100 pounds. It's easier to do that than to eat clean. It's easier to just do that than to go to the gym, 40 minutes a day. I understand. This is going to be a really bad thing, because I see that as we begin to see more turmoil take place geopolitically, many of these pharmaceuticals are going to be much more difficult to get. And if your body is dependent on them and we cannot get these pharmaceuticals, what are you going to do? It's going to be very, very hard on these people. This is the time now to be working on getting off of these substances, these addictions. Do it now, ladies and gentlemen, because at some point, these things are going to be very, very hard to get, unavailable. I know people that go to the pharmacy. They've been going to the pharmacy twice a week just to try and get their prescriptions. They're not there. They've been waiting 3-4 weeks to get a simple generic prescription, and they can't even get that. So some of these other type drugs and pharmaceuticals are going to be very, very difficult to get, especially if something happens between us and China, where 90% of these pharmaceuticals come from. Think about that. So do what you can now to get in the best shape of your life, physically, mentally, spiritually, and financially. Have a great weekend. I'm heading over to the gym right now, get a little workout in. I hope everybody has a great week. Make sure that you continue to stay on course, stay close to God, and continue your preparations. God bless. Talk to all of you very, very soon.